How's it going? Welcome to another episode of Lost Like Mike. I am your host, Mike Gonzalez. This is my fourth attempt to record this episode. Who's keeping track of that? Had some issues with storage again. Anyway, I'll try it one more time. I think I've solved the problem. But I don't feel well today, folks. I have, as my daughter says, the sickness. It's been a rough week, and anyway, can't complain. I thought a lot about friends of mine and family members and different people that I know of that did not fare as well over the past couple of years, And so I had said that I would not pass a week without doing an episode, so here I am. But I apologize if I'm all over the place, and I apologize if I will go on as long as I possibly can. My main objective was just to get through it and come out and hang out with you. So again, thank you for all the subscribers. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for people that have said that they're going to comment, and for the emails at LostLikeMike@gmail.com. A friend of mine said that he found himself listening to an episode or two, and he's going to start commenting. He says he has some thoughts, which I'm happy to hear. And I welcome constructive criticism. I welcome, all that sort of thing. I know I don't count him as somebody who would needlessly do that, but I encourage people to start a dialogue. Nothing wrong with that. I have but anyway, also brought to mind that there's been several friends that have talked about maybe wanting to have conversations with me in this format, and got me to thinking that I might record a conversation with a friend, and if it goes well, maybe just release that as an episode. Not put any sort of pressure on it, so it could be as little as just a segment in the show, and just have a conversation. Incidentally, before, and I might have mentioned this in the beta episode, I might have mentioned it in the first episode, but one of the original formats for the show is that I was going to, this is pre-pandemic, was going to go to coffee shops or to different places and offer to buy somebody lunch or buy them a coffee if they would allow me to just record a conversation. That was the original, one of the original concepts. Just to sort of random talk to people at random and find out things about people, because I sucked at social skills and I wanted to learn about how to care more about other people's stories than my own. Find out more about myself through learning about others, right? Or find out more about the human condition through other people rather than And plus, one of the things that I loved about going to college was speaking to people, um, having conversations, about the world, about like ideas, and out of my comfort zone and out of my circle of friends. So I thought that could be cool too. Anyway, but I'd love to do that. I think it's great. The idea of speaking to a friend, to get back to the subject, to talk to one of my friends and share that dynamic with, all of y'all. Because I think that we are who we are, and I am who I am when you hit the camera, and I am who I am when I'm hanging out with my family, when I'm hanging out with friends. It's natural. We are who we are, depending on what light is shining on us. So it might be cool to see what that dynamic would be, to have a chat with others. If you're interested, comment below. If you're a friend or a family member of mine and you would like to maybe do something like that, hit me an email, send me an email. Yeah, I got sick early this week and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I hung out with my daughter on Tuesday, well, early in the week. She has strep throat, but before everybody says, "Aha, that's what he has," that's not. I tested negative for it. But we had a show and we performed. I was helping. We did like a variety group that we played with my cousins. I've always played with family all my life, and come from a long, line of musicians. But we sort of gravitate towards each other and play together. And so, but this variety band, I'm kind of a smaller segment. I play, instruments and stuff, but it's mainly the other players in the group are the stars of the show. But we're playing for this this group. Be honest with you, I don't even know what the group was, but the whole thing was just nutty how it was set up. Because we show up and we have a scheduled time to play. It's on the contract and everything. It's all good. But like certain parts of the electricity aren't working, and they have the guy that's supposed to know how to, where to plug in and which breakers go to which and whatever. It's just one big, it's one big like foobar. It's all over the place. And a lady comes up and they've got all these chiefs, what I'm saying, like all these cooks in the kitchen. And one lady's like, "Aren't y'all gonna start?" And I'm like, "No, not for another hour. I mean, according to our contract, do you need us to start? We'll start." And then she like puts her cell phone up to her ears and like puts a finger up to me I'm gonna go. I'll go find out, sweetheart. She says. I'm like, okay, because we're very flexible. I'll be down to start whatever, but it was more the idea that they didn't have their stuff together that bothered me. And anyway, but the whole setup, the way that they did it, I mean, they were going to come make announcements through our show, so we start playing, and then this one lady comes up and she's like, I'm ready to make an announcement. And then she's like, hey everybody, we know how much y'all love karaoke. We're all gonna go to this karaoke bar right after this is over. Um, it's weird because I've commented on karaoke before, and I have a friend of mine, Sean, who I enjoy his karaoke. He has fun, and he does his thing, and I never got the feel that he but some people that go to karaoke, they don't have an appreciation for the other people singing. They don't have appreciation for, but so it's a generalization, and I know it sounds like I'm being harsh on. I always seem like I'm being harsh on karaoke people, but it's just that it's just there's a certain level of narcissism that comes with karaoke people that go to karaoke shows, where I think that when I was growing up, you go to a show because you wanted to be entertained by the artist. You wanted them to show their talents and play songs that you enjoy and be a part of something bigger than yourself, right? You want to enjoy it as an observer, but also as a participant in certain aspects, right? And I get it. There's certain shows when I'm performing, clubs, bars, whatever, where it's as much about the crowd interaction as it is them watching the entertainment, right? Singing along, etc. It just seems like for a while it evolved into being like, I'm going to go out and see how I interact with the entertainment, where it has nothing to do with who's on stage, what they're doing. I think that's maybe it's very DJ oriented or like rave oriented, where it could be anybody, pushing buttons and doing what they're doing, and it's about the person, individual experience, instead of like, I don't know. I don't want to come off like, anyway, whenever they said that, I just knew, oh, okay, I get it. This isn't, it's not even going to be something that we could do something to interact with these people that they're going to enjoy. Not unless we just said, hey, here's the sign-up sheet. You come up here and entertain your damn selves. Sign here. Where do you want to sing? We'll just be a live karaoke band. We'll play the song. You sing it. You be the hero. Come on. They should have, from the very beginning, had that. The fact that they asked for us to come play songs was a waste of their money. And even so, they make that announcement, the light bulb goes off in my head. I say, aha, it's going to be that kind of show, where you get the cursory applause. And when it's something that they can all do a, uniform dance, they're going to be into it. If it's just good playing, then you might as well have a radio on. And so the next announcement, comes during the session. Okay, now here's the middle of the show. Here's your break. And they play, those quintessential, the Macarena kind of electric slides, kind of group dances. And sure enough, like, just like zombies, they all stand up and go to the center, and they're all doing the cha-cha slide, and here we go. Wobble, baby, wobble, whatever it is, here we go. Because it's about them. It's about, I don't know. It sounds bitter, but only because it just seems like, I don't know, hater gonna hate. I'm not hating. I'm just, we've talked about it before. They come up and they have the second announcement. This is further on lit, when we get back from break, which wasn't, and they're like, everybody, we have shuttles going back to the cars, and it takes about 40 minutes to get back. So the first round of shuttles is leaving in 5 minutes. We're like, wait, y'all contracted us to play, for another hour or whatever. What is this? Why would... So they, of course, everybody's going to, you know what I mean? Everybody gets up to go back to the cars, right? The shuttle's leaving now and won't be back for an hour. And they decide to make that announcement, they decide to schedule the departure in the beginning of the second, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, we played for the people putting up the tables, The thing is, it's not like I'm taking it personal, it'd be one thing if I was, here's my new album, I'm playing music that I wrote, I'm expressing myself as an artist, here we are, this is my stage show, my lights, this is me, trying to entertain you, and that'd be one thing. But, when you're playing, when you're hired to perform, that's what this looks like sometimes, you're only one. It's weird because I'll give you an example. They had food tickets, right? And we were less than even the employees that were working the event. They brought out plates for this one table of food, and here we are playing music on, whatever. And the people are like, no, we're full. We can't. Mm-mm. And they were like forcing it, like, y'all take it, A lot of times it's weird. You see the true nature of people don't like the way that they treat them, the employees, or the way they treat the caterers, the way they treat the musicians. I mean, something that not a lot of people think about. But, I mean, they would rather throw in the trash, the leftovers than to share them with the hired help. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's kind of like that. Sometimes you're blown away by the generosity of the people that you play for, but sometimes it's just the nature of the game, you know. Anyway, we were thankful for the gig. I mean, it's no big deal. I just was thinking about it. That's where it began. So I was really already feeling under the weather. So it got worse. And then I was sent home from work, and I'm just kind of making it through, taking one day at a time, whatever. I wanted to, that was the the other day I was rushing to drop some items off at UPS. I was going to ship some stuff back to Amazon. I think, it was my wife's tickets. She sent me these boxes. So I'm running, and I grabbed these boxes, and I got to get to UPS before they close. And I park and I hop off, and I'm juggling these big boxes of shoes that didn't fit. And this one man says, "Hey, it looks like you're carrying a lot there," and holds the door open for me. Didn't have to do it. It was just this kindness, right? But big smile holding the door. I'd go in, I'd do my thing. And then I say, I want to go put gas. So I'm driving through the parking lot, and there's people like waiting to park where other people are, reversing out, right? So I'm kind of taking it slow down this parking area of this strip center. And I see a lady struggling with this giant bag of what I'm guessing is dog food. And so as I'm getting ready to put my car in park to help this lady, this guy is pushing his cart past her, and I overhear him say, "Can I help?" And she's like, "Sure." And then, so I'm like, he don't know her from nobody, and he kind of positions his cart that he had coming out of this grocery store, and helps her with it stuff. And anyway, within a span of like 10 minutes, I just kept seeing one after another. I mean, as I was going to the gas pumps, people clearing one area, and you know what I mean, kind of saying, "Go ahead, go ahead and go to the gas pumps." And I'm like, what's happening? And it just seemed like everybody was being cool to the next person. It's like this guy was cool to me, and I'm trying to pay it forward, and here's somebody else being cool here. And it's a cool moment, man. I was happy that I was in it. You know what I mean? Like I was really locked in to just awareness of all these different people taking care of each other in this weird. There's something weird about it, and only in the sense that I was very in tune with everybody being cool with each other. Sometimes, you're driving and you're like, you hear the honking of the horns and the shaking fists, or you know what I mean? Like you're in tune with the wrong people being the wrong way, or I, if I do get a chance, birds really love this chain of grocery stores in Texas called HEB. I'll probably put some here. It reminded me of it because when I was after that whole episode of kindness that I was witnessing, um, it was at dusk, and every year, like, it just seems all the birds migrate to HEB for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's true for all the HEBs. So if you want to comment below if that's true, but I'll put the picture or footage. I did both. It's pretty cool, but I don't know where I was going with it. I just wanted to mention it. But yeah, sometimes we get in tune with the opposite, with the negative. And so it's a good thing to sort of to be aware of the positive and enjoy it, recognize it. Real big was the Powerball recently, when it was at 1 point something billion, and then 1.5 billion and 1.9 billion. One person ended up winning it in California, I think it was. Excuse me. But I keep saying, man, I get it that money changes people, power changes people, but it's like, I'll go on record and be documented as saying, test me, man. See how fast I give away all that money. I would love to, to see how that would work. Because I see the evil of it. I see the part of it that's greed is such a tangible, like it's such a real evil, I mean, you can aspire to do better than what you do now, right? That's not what we're talking about. And people always talk about wanting to have more for security or for, But if if you think about it, they talk about, well, for example, why they manufacture in other countries, right? Why are Nike shoes made in other countries? It's because the labor's cheap, right? For the most part, that's what they're saying. We could deny that there's sweatshops, all that kind of stuff, but it's true. It's what it is. But, well, they say, well, you want your shoes to be cheaper, right? But it's not the truth. That's not the whole story, right? Because instead of the profit margin being, yeah, they might have to reduce the number a little bit, by the overall amount of profit, but they don't have to make the shoes more expensive. They could just make less money off of the shoe, is my example. I mean, that's capitalist blasphemy, but I mean, and I'm not saying, all power to you, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. But at the same time, a lot of the conversations that are had when it comes down to it has to do with the amount of profit. It's not saying that the company would lose its shirt or whatever, When they talk about higher wages, or they always say, well, do you want to pay more for your product? Because that's what's going to happen. You mean you want us to pay people more for their wages? You crazy? I mean, you're going to have to pay more for your product. No, that's not what that equals to. You make it that be what it equals to. Because you could reduce the fat bonuses. You could reduce the yeah. I don't know. I offended this one guy this one time in marketing. Like, you ever seen this brand? It's called Supreme, right? You probably have. Maybe I'll show a little something over there. It's a branding thing. But we were talking about marketing, and they were talking about this triumph that is this brand, right? Because all it is branding, at its most. All these different things you hear about all the time, and they say, "Oh, it's 'cause it's super cool. It's quality, and it's what it is." And that's why Louis Vuitton, or all these different. It's because it's just a step above. Okay, all right. I mean, maybe you're right, but in this case, they literally will put their logo on a physical brick and sell it for $350 or how much money for a brick with a name on it. And here the kids eating it up, backpacks, tote bags, whatever, t-shirts, whatever. And in this class, I said, this is a joke, right? It's a social experiment, right? Is that what this is? Is this? And one of the kids in the class was like toting this stuff and whatever, and I didn't realize that. And I was saying, right, that they're playing a joke on young America, right? They're seeing how how big suckers they are, right? Because they're just slapping this name on whatever, and they're paying 2-3 times the price of what this is worth because of it. But there were other examples of things that they made, that they sold. It's interesting if you really pay attention to these things behind the scenes. whether or not they're a quality product versus whether it's just, you know, just plain pretend like it, you know. I mean, I remember somebody telling me that the Air Force Ones, the Nike, I think they were, what are they called? The Nike shoes, that they weren't even, the first ones weren't even comfortable. That, I don't know, that they were, it's 100% branding, you know? And is that another just hater thing, right? Why don't I just do as they do and like, you know, I mean, I use logos, I use, you know, stuff, but I guess it's what I'm, you know, the part you try to figure out, or the thing that you try to wrap your mind around is the purchases that you make and the things that you watch and you listen to and you wear. How much of it is based on the need for the product, or the quality of what you're looking at, and how much of it is, you know, is the branding or the marketing behind it. Yeah. Like I was messing with these apps, playing a game, and I would roll my eyes and not pay attention to the ad that would pop up when I, you know, because you get these games on your phone to pass the time when you're, you know, trying to not be in it, right? You just want to zombie out or whatever. And I blow it up, blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. Ads. Here comes the ads. Get rid of it. Not pay attention. And then I'm like, man, I don't want to play this game anymore. I go to the app, whatever, store, and there I go picking these apps that I just, you know, that I was getting rid of the ads for. Makes you feel that it's possible that this marketing stuff really, there's something to it. Some sad news for everybody. I did not go vote. I am always going to be honest. I'm always going to be honest. But here's the thing, because not only was I was watching my daughter that day, but my wife happens to vote polar opposite of what I vote, and we cancel each other out. Which I understand. It's a cop-out, because if she's too lazy to go vote, or she doesn't get a chance to go vote, and I do, then yay. I win. I get an extra vote, you know, because she's not voting, right? I know there's an extra one for my side. And listen, I get it. The whole thing's a joke and blah, blah, blah. It's not a joke. But I understand that, you know, this left and right and red and blue and me versus you is all, oh, it's all taken away from what really should be going on, which is a national conversation that's geared towards each specific problem. And I'm not giving opinions on it because I'm sick as so get out, man. And I'm not feeling it. But, you know, point being is I couldn't go down there and vote, and we had our conversation, my wife and I, where I said, well, who would you vote for in this, category, and I was like, well, who would you vote for in this? Okay, so we cancel each other out, and which allowed me to sit there with my daughter and take care of her and make her feel better and get sick, not because of her, but just in coincidence. I was gonna say coinkydink, and I was gonna say coincidence, and it came out coincidence. Okay, just putting that out there. Speaking of hanging out with my daughter all day, I also want to go on the record and say that the greatest writing on a children's cartoon or TV show, okay? I just am in love with this show, Bluey. It's this little show on Disney where about this blue dog. It's a blue healer, and it has her little sister and her parents, and they just have these little, adventures or whatever. But I like the writing on it. I like it's. I've actually gotten some parenting tips from it. There's been times where I was sitting there watching it and it sort of hits you in all of the emotional spots, I've been like, I'm watching a damn cartoon. Stop it. Like, this is not supposed to make me all whatever, sensitive or whatever. But it's a very sweet show. It's a short show. They pack a lot of information in a very little amount of time. But it's very human. Like, yeah, it's a show about dogs, but it's very, it tackles very human things. Like, there was a show about death, and there was, just, it hits little notes about growing up, and I don't know, just a lot of. If you get a chance, if you haven't already watched it, you probably already watched it. Don't lie. And this little show, it's called Bluey. By far my favorite kids show right now. I mean, if you, I grew up Saturday morning cartoons. Okay, I grew up watching all of those things, and there was never a need for plot or, real storylines. You could make an argument that there was morals at the end of a G.I. Joe episode, right? But I mean, I could not sit here and tell you a plot line. I mean, what am I? I mean, how sick can I be? I feel like I'm having like a fever dream. This whole episode's just all over the place. At one point, I was going to just have an entire episode of just. Anyway, you should check that show out. When they sent me home from work, I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write my book. I'm gonna edit old episodes and make little shorts out of them and put them on TikTok or, YouTube Shorts, which would be like, I don't know if it's different, but it would be on my channel. So it'd be youtube.com/ at LostLikeMike. Right? I just basically said I was going to be productive. I slept. I've been doing nothing but sleeping. I got a box of medicines that I take. Shouldn't even be up right now. But I did want to come and hang out with y'all. And it's weird because, I think I've coughed once. So that's pretty cool. I sound nasally like I'll get out, but, I'm not coughing a bunch. And if you listen, my voice sounded far worse last week than it did this week. Well, all right, so I think that y'all should start a podcast called, I was thinking about the other night. I might have said it on the podcast. That would bug me if I did, because I don't listen back to these anymore. But, well, in the pursuit of, not policing what I say is why I don't, But I think there should be a called Asking Alice. I thought about it today when I saw some people from an Alice in Wonderland costume. They were wearing Alice in Wonderland costumes. And there was a Jefferson Airplane song. And people argued that it was, not argued, they discussed the fact that the song was about drugs. One pill makes her big, one makes her small, And in the song, the guy says, just ask Alice, or the girl says, ask Alice, like she knows. She's done the drugs and she's, so she'll tell you what it's like to be 10 feet tall or whatever, these lines of the song. And forgive me if there's already some TV show or if there's some book or there's something that already has used it. It seems like they should already have something called Asking Alice. But ooh, if it was a girl named Alice that does drugs. Oh shoot. Was it Mia Jovovich, her movie Resident Evil, where she says, my name is Alice and I remember everything? I don't know, maybe her name was something different. Anyway, but I thought it might be interesting to have a show about drugs where, listen, I don't advocate doing drugs. I suck at doing drugs. We've talked about this. I've tried to do drugs and it didn't work out for me. So I'm not going to do the heavy shit because, I couldn't do the easy shit. So I don't mess with any of it. But if they had a show for somebody like me who wants to hear about or find out about, the healing properties of doing psychotropic drugs, or maybe, ways of regulating edibles or whatever. I'm sure there's tons of topics that you can talk about. So use it and just say that you heard it here first. have a podcast or a show called Asking Alice. Yeah, I think I've crossed that threshold of delusion. I think I'm going to dope up on some over-the-counter cold and flu medications right over here. I'm going to go ask Alice about some of these pharmaceuticals. And I'm going to knock out. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to this episode, which I'm very tired. I'm very sick, but I'm hanging in there. So, and my doctor says I got good oxygen, so I'm all good. Yeah, if there's topics you want me to talk about, I heard some positive things about the random subject generator. We'll work that back in the future. It's just way over there, my laptop, and I didn't get it. Just kidding. But anyway, I should feel better by next week. It's gonna be rough. My daughter's surgery is coming up, so that's probably all I'm gonna be thinking about. I've got to get better so that I can be allowed to hang out. But anyway, take care. Stay safe and try not to get sick yourselves. And I'll talk to you in the comments and in the evening.